Hey, how you doing there? Where do I need to... Wait me a second. Hope this isn't inappropriate. Is it good for you? Hey, how you doing there? You know I can't hear you, right? So my name is correct. And you are? Also correct. So I was... I should date these things now. Just for coffee, you know, just casual, just see how we go. It's definitely the 16th of November. Can't believe it, my jaw's seizing up already. Okay, goodbye. 16th of November 2023. And yesterday's video was definitely made on the 15th. I don't know what day it was yesterday. Anyway, so as noted in yesterday's video, I'm afraid I can't play the guitar anymore. There's no upper body strength, etc., etc. There's a video about it, but I did hope to still do some recital videos. I'm looking everywhere, barring you, aren't I? The awful manners I have. And let me just move over here. Those photos of my children are coming in the shot there. Maybe I should, if I stay like this, I think that's every picture of my children now. Can I do it like that? Some new ones there. Hi Emily, hi Dill, if you're seeing this at any time. Love you with all my heart. Yeah, so I can't play the guitar anymore, but I hope to do some recital videos in between. Because all I do is sit here waiting for someone to buy something off of me online, because just about everything I own is listed online for sale. And I'm uploading the material from what I call the vault, which is all these SD cards. There's hundreds of them here, thousands of hours of material. But it's currently uploading an outtake of Honey, Where Are You At? Well, it's not a bad take actually, and it's I think it's an 8-minute song. You upload it, and it says it takes 1 hour and 8 minutes to upload it because it's 4K or whatever. God, you know. And if you looked at the entire lifespan of that song from the day I picked up a pen and paper and wrote the 17 verses and then went into the studio and made the studio recording of it, it wouldn't come to, I think I'm going to sneeze. I do apologize. I'm trying to work it out here. I'll try and fly it my way. So I was going to make and I thought, I'm in the mood. I wanted to read one of my books called, it's getting near Christmas, called A Christmas Carol, parentheses, no, not that one, a different one, by me, Paul Murphy. And so I went through the piles of my books, and I don't have a copy, because I like that book. I mean, I like all my books, but some of them are, some of them I have a bigger affinity with than others. And that one I always liked, because I wrote it as much as I could as just a monologue or a duologue, so it's just written as two people, because people always say, I like the bits in your books when you do it as conversations, so they get more and more absurd. And I could have done with something to cheer myself up, so I thought I will read a clip of that. And I don't have a copy, because you may or may not know, but Amazon cancelled me. I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 months ago. They took exception to one of my books, which I thought was a bit rich considering some of the stuff they sell, you know, outright filth and, you know, propaganda and hate stuff and everything, you know. They said, you can't put some of your drawings. It was some of my artworks, you know, that I'd had for 10, 15 years, because I used to paint and stuff, and so I'd taken photographs of some of my paintings and drawings and sketches, etc. That sound, in case you're wondering, means the internet's gone down. And that's just in case you didn't hear us the first time. So that means that version of Honey, Where Are You At is going to have to be restarted. Patreon is even worse. They just, you know, I mean, I hate Patreon or Patreon. Anyway. But of course I still kept selling what books I had in stock. People were asking for them, you know, and because all the signed ones are sold direct from me. I do apologise, my jaw was seizing up. Help me, I'm melting. And I've obviously, to raise money for the children, I've been selling off what I got here. And I've obviously sold off the last one. So I don't know, it comes to something when you have a copy of one of your own books. Jeff Bezos, you are the Florka. My daughter Emily will know what that means. I know you're happy to keep all my reviews up there, that where people say, oh, very informative. So where I do detailed analysis of Bob Dylan and other stuff, let's not go into it, but anyway, so I'm very disappointed about that. It was really funny as well, so hilarious. If I'd had more time, it's not only Amazon, they're cancelling me. So anyway, I blew the smoke off of this one, and I found Jottings. This is, as you can see, is a proof copy of it, and I found this in. I haven't read this since I wrote it. This was just odd stories and bits of comedy sketches that I never did. And I found one called Harry Schmeling. Well, it's a book of Jottings, so a lot of these I think are unfinished. So, that's 6 minutes and 21 seconds of your life you'll never see again. What's your birthday? If it's any consolation, I really do enjoy your company, if you don't enjoy what I'm saying and going on about, Daddy, ever know what a full stop is? Now we can see why some of his songs last 8 hours. It's not just my songs that last 8 hours at a time. Ladies. This one is called Harry Schmeling in Therapy. I've actually only read 3 lines ahead here, but I've got a good feeling I remember writing it, so. It's whether I do the voices or not. The voices are everywhere. They tell me to do things, Do you ever have that? I don't know. I mean, I know most of my viewers are either in Asia or the US, but in this country, in England, there's a well-known supermarket which is, but they have these self-service machines, and it'll prompt you, so it says, so a voice will come out and it says, so you do your shopping and it says, thank you for shopping it. Don't forget to take your receipt. I can't do the voice that it comes up with, and everything. And would you like to round your payment up to your pence for charity? I apologise for this, but obviously I've got no circulation left anymore. A bit like the New York Times. And you know what I thought would be funny, so if you're the guy that's programming these things, because it always said the same things, do you have a club card, and don't forget to take your receipt and everything. And I thought, if I was doing that, so I would be in the recording session, so I could, thank you for shopping at bleep bleep. We hope you had a good shopping experience. Don't forget to take your receipt. Kill them all! Thank you for having a great day, etc., etc. I don't know what I was doing here. Harry Schmeling, in therapy for having conversations with Humphrey Bogart, deceased. Come in, Harry, come in. How have you been? Pretty good, Dr. Snooderman, thank you. Great, great. That means we have discernible results. That's a good sign, I take it. Why, of course. That means I can add another $15 to each session. And that's a good sign. Oh, the dollar sign is always good, especially when you're on the receiving end of it. Anyway, there's the couch. Make yourself comfortable. No, face up, please. That's better. Now, how has this week gone for you that made it pretty good? Well, Doctor, don't be so formal, Harry. Call me Doctor. I should explain that joke, which is a visual joke. So he says, well, Doctor, D-O-C-T-O-R. And the doctor goes, don't be so formal, Harry. Call me Doctor, D-R. I'm sorry, how egotistical. I keep looking at myself in the viewfinder there. Shall I see if I can hide from myself? You are feeling sleepy. You are feeling sick. You want to make large donations to my children. Sorry. Where do we get to? Very well, Doctor. So, as you know, last week was pretty traumatic for me. I was in line for a promotion at work. It was a two-horse race between myself and Jerry Kaczynski for lead usher at the funeral parlour, and I had the better chance. I had 5 years seniority and a much more miserable face. I was second interview, which again I felt gave me an edge, especially since I had been listening at the door and found out that Jerry was pinning his hopes on some pretty radical innovations, such as mid-funeral snack breaks, post-cremation discos, and themed funerals. Themed? What sort of themes? Well, mostly someone being a corpse was the theme. But he did try to vary it, such as his and hers nights. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm amusing myself. But I could tell his ideas were going down like a dead balloon. Don't you mean lead balloon? Not in my line of work. So you were feeling somewhat confident then? I was. It felt good to feel that way. Funeral parlour work can be a bit downing at times, as I've mentioned before. I mean, you're in a service industry, but none of your customers ever talk to you. Remind me again how you got into funeral parlouring? Remind me again when the pages are stuck together? No, it's just compression, really. Where'll I get to? This is on page 88 if you've got a copy and you want to read along with me. You should do. Oh, you can't buy it. As I'm advertising a product that you can't buy. All right. There's no television signal in this village. There's no internet signal. There's no television signal. It's a wonder that we are even able to get our voices to go. Although it's been 17 years since anyone in this village ever spoke to me, and even then it was, "Get out of our village, you bloody immigrant!" They're nice in England. Where did I get to? Let's go back a bit. Remind me again how you got into funeral parlouring? I was told it was a good job for meeting single women, widows mainly, but it never worked out. I walked them back to their cars, opened the door for them, tell them I was sorry for their loss, and mention that I was free that night, and since they probably had too much food in now, it would be a shame to let it go to waste. But very few of them took me up on the offer. How many did, would you say? Well, there were none at all in the first year, and it's matched that figure for 12 years in a row. Not good. Are you kidding me? Some of our clients score better than I do. I find that hard to believe. Me too, until I popped back late one night for my lunchbox, and to this day, I don't believe that is the correct way to embalm some. So, what happened at the interview? Well, it seemed to be going well at first. My ideas for bringing fresh business in were not as radical as Jerry's. Weren't you going to suggest removing the ventilator on-off switches and old folks' homes next to the light switches? Well, there was that, but my main suggestion was to employ people who had had a stroke. How would that drum up business? I figured they don't smile much, you know? The constrictive face muscles and everything. People like to see unhappy staff at the funerals of their loved ones. Makes them feel that their dearly departed is much missed, even by people who have only known them long enough to pop some formaldehyde into them. And it seemed to be going down well. The bosses were keen, and I thought I was coasting. And then it happened again. Bogart appeared. "He was looking at you, kid," I heard from my left. I looked over, and there he was, sitting on the drinks cabinet. What happened? Well, I couldn't stop myself. "Here's looking at you too," I smiled back. "What was that?" asked Mr. Peterson, the parlour owner. Here's looking at you two with a lot of respect, Mr. Peterson and Mr. J. Smith, for the way you have made this the best funeral parlour in Little Roach, Minnesota," I said quickly. Yeah, I don't know why the guy who's doing the job interview's got an English accent either. It's because I get more muddled up. I need an auto cue. Maybe if I do it. This is what the book looked like, in case you were wondering. That's what the back of it looked like on the side. There's a picture of my children on the back of that. That's not, it's me. Goodness. Where did we get to? Oh yeah. Did you get away with it? That one, yes, but if did you get away with it? That one, yes. If Bogart had have left that, I could have got through. But he didn't. He pulled a cigarette out and started to light it. "You can't smoke in here," I yelled before I could clamp my tongue. "What?" asked Mr. J. Smith. I was thinking we could switch to smokeless fuels at our cremations and advertise ourselves as environmentally friendly. You can burn, but you can't smoke in here. That could be our slogan. Seems a bit too out there. I know we all want to save the planet, but when people are waving their beloveds off into the chamber, that is probably not their primary focus. Still, nice thinking. We can run it by that Swedish girl who likes to hug icebergs or whatever she does and see what she thinks," he replied. "Good save." "Yes, Doctor, but it was touch and go, and I certainly didn't need them mentioning Swedish ladies, all things considered. I was... Hi, Sarah B., wherever you might be too in the world now. Goodness me, what was that, 2001? That's a long time ago, wasn't it? 22 years ago. Goodness me, you'll be coming up to 50 soon. Will you? What's 24 and 22? 46. Where did we get to? I don't know. I've kind of lost the focus now, so we're going to finish this off then. Goodness me. I'm trying to tilt back so you can't see the bags under my eyes. So I look like something like the Omen. Not a bad Omen. Where do we get to? Seems a bit... Focus, boy, focus. Seems a bit too out there. I know we all want to save the planet. Sweetie, yeah. Good save. Yes, Doctor, but it was touch and go, and I certainly didn't need them mentioning Swedish ladies, all things considered. I said, I was praying Bogart would leave, but he just stood up and smiled at me. I could see he was building up for something. Sure enough, just as Mr. Peterson asked me if I was prepared to alter my working week if I got the promotion so that I could run the Sunday services on my own, Bogart leaned over to me and said, "Did I ever tell you how I got the script for The Return of Dr. X? I stormed into Jack Warner's office, threw it across his desk, and demanded more money for making such rubbish." "I don't care about your extra money," I hissed. "Well, that's very good of you," said Mr. Peterson. "There was a $1,000 a month raise with the new permission, but you obviously just want to do it for the love of the job. I'm impressed." I glared at Bogart, but he just smiled and stubbed his cigarette out on a copy of our 1001 After Cremation joke books. Oh dear, what happened next? I just wanted to get out of there, you know. I was going to curtail the interview and cut my losses, but Mr. Peterson said, "We now need to check your technical expertise. Can you tell us how best to prepare a body?" But just then Bogart came up behind me and said in my ear, "You're playing it for her. You can't play it for me." I can't get a Bogart voice down anymore. "Well, I don't think I can remember," I answered him automatically. "You can't remember?" said Mr. J. Smith. "That's not very good, is it? What's going to happen if the family of recently departed want to have a quick peek before they wave them off on the final leg of their life's journey? We lift the lid for them, and instead of a well-preserved relative lying there with a serene look on their visage, there's half a face and half a skull staring back at them. They'd be fainting like flies, let alone having nightmares for years afterwards." "Yes," chirped in Mr. Peterson. "Say it was open coffin. We'd be rushing through the service trying to get a decomposing cadaver into the ground before we attracted any more blue bottles or passing wildlife. No, that's a big strike. Do you think you could relearn how to do body prep? And properly as well. None of this just buying a can of grey spray paint from the DIY store." "And what did you say?" I'm all out on the voices. "And what did you say?" says the doctor. Well, I assured them that I could, put my comment down to pressure, and said I had good educational standards. "Oh, really?" said Mr. Peterson. "Where did you study?" Well, I couldn't help it. Bogart was whispering in my ear, and before I could stop myself, I answered, "All the gin joints in all the towns in all the world." I could see by the look on their faces that the job was lost then. "Did you try and turn the situation around?" I did. I tried to address both sides of the room. I said to Mr. Peterson, "Sir, I think we should ask your niece to play the music at our services. She's very talented, and it would be a nice touch for the departed relatives." And then while he was thinking about it, I said to Bogart, "If she can stand it, I can. Play it." So it looked like I was continuing the same conversation. But Bogart shot back. "It doesn't take much to see that the problem of the three little people don't amount to a hill of beans in this crazy world." "A hill of beans?" I interrupted. "What kind of stupid analogy is that?" For a start, it's not this there's a universal... I can't get my breath in. For a start, it's not as if there was a universal size of a hill. They come in different configurations of height and width. And who would build a hill of beans? Why don't you just build a hill out of a hill? Or bananas? Colombian aardvark arse feathers? Or what sort of beans? Baked beans? Well, let's see. There's 465 baked beans in a 415 gram tin. What shall we say the mass of the hill is? 20 tons? Okay, then let's see. 20 tons over 4.515 G. Oh, that's 48,192.7711 tins. It is as well, by the way. I did do the research on it. Well, let's not be wasteful. Let's round it down. 48,192 tins comes to 2,240,000, I don't know, 2 trillion baked beans. So someone goes to the problem of amassing a hill comprising 2.25 million beans just for you to say someone's problems don't come up to it. Well, say the people are actually the people who built the hill out of the baked beans. Say that I wrote those wrong words in italics, or I wrote those words in italic wrong, or I didn't write them in italics, I wrote them in normal, and then I highlighted it and clicked italic, and it made it into italic. And say I'm going completely off message, I'm just losing the theme here. Then it would amount to their problems, the main problem being one, I'm shagged out opening all these tins of baked beans, stacking them up. There's too much sauce, they're running everywhere, and two, blimey, we're skimped because we spent £12,048 on baked frigging beans. I'm not sure how this is relevant to your interview, Harry, said Mr. J. Smith. It is kind of you to think of the problems that our clients might be having, but we certainly wouldn't want to burden them additionally with hills of beans. Yes, you're not suggesting we start burying people in mounds of baked beans, are you? Asked Mr. Peterson. No, I sputtered. I got sidetracked thinking about a home project. I turned to Bogart. He's imagining Bogart. It's, Woody Allen, that kind of thing, That's where I got the idea from, but I wanted to take it even further away. The annoying thing is, this goes on a bit. I like the bit where he gets onto the barge, but that's about another 4 pages to go yet. Yeah, we're nearly out of file in any case. So what have you been doing today? Tell me all about your day. Has it been a good day? I've got a spiky hair there. I think it's spiking 2 ways, going up and going in. So, right, I've been Paul Murphy, and I really need to read these. Shush! This lamp is always heckling me, Just, stop it. Bad enough when I was singing. At least I could cover you up with the electric guitar then. When I'm trying to talk to people, it's very rude to interrupt. Oh, so, Luke, I am your father. Who is your daddy, Luke? Oh, no, that's Darth... What's up? Darth Vader was it? Oh, no, who's your daddy, Luke? Right, what was I was going to do a joke then about a pervert phoning people up and pleading his defence that he was doing a Darth Vader impression, but I'm not going to do it. I've been Paul Murphy, and the first 6 minutes of this were a waffle. The last 18 minutes are a waffle, and there were about 6 seconds in the middle that maybe you got something productive out of. But hey, that's the way it goes. What do you do? Take care.